May others be as passionate in their hunting of you.
Happy Halloween! Hi everyone, welcome to Movie Herd. My name is Kyle, dressed up as Goatee Man.
And my name is Chen, and I am Van Helsing, 1939.
Van Helsing, 1939? I don't think I'm familiar with that one.
It's because I made him up.
That's pretty cool.
I have a little short film we've been making called Van Helsing 1939. It's funny, it kind of started out as we watched Van Helsing movie for this review, and then I was looking at his costume and I was like, man, I wish I had that costume. I have something similar, but like a couple decades later, and then that's where I got the idea of setting Van Helsing in the 30s, kind of like a detective version of, Van Helsing is a detective, but like a private investigator time period.
If you guys want to watch that, we'll leave a link in the description below. Go check it out.
In this video, we'll be talking about Van Helsing 2004, directed by Stephen Sommers, who, oh man, I think this movie is really underrated.
It is, and it's kind of funny because he also directed The Mummy, and that was not as overlooked as this one.
So this guy, he had his hand in modernizing Mummy, Dracula, Frankenstein, and the Werewolf. So he got 4 down. I kind of wish he would do more.
Hugh Jackman plays Van Helsing, and he sheds a whole new light on the character as like a rugged steampunk monster hunter that just hunts him down and slays him.
We've had about like 70 years of werewolves up until this point, and there's been tons of transformations, but this one, like, it was a new way of transforming us. It's almost my favorite way, and it's like it's a PG-13 way.
And it looked really good for 2004. The CGI in this movie is really good.
It was like early 2000s, so I call it like the overdone CGI stage. Like you had the prequels come out around that time, then
Star Wars
first
prequels.
Hulk, yeah, the Hulk movie. So LXG. So you had tons of movies that like, oh, we can finally do CGI good now. And they kind of overdid it.
Even though like they finally were able to do CGI good, a lot of movies around that time just didn't put in the time and effort to do it. But this movie, they put so much into the CGI and it looks really good. Maybe not according to today's standards, but for back then, it's really good.
And it holds up. It's been a while and it's aged pretty well. I just remember not seeing it in the theater because my dad saw it first, and then he's like, don't see it. And I kind of took his word for it. But then later on, I saw it on DVD, and I was like, man, I missed this theater experience. Dang it, Dad, like, I like this movie.
You know what kind of made this movie fun? The gadgets. Van Helsing's gadgets.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He had so many little gadgets. Like little spinning saws that you pump like this and the saw spins and you can cut off arms and stuff like that. Retractable stakes.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever that's called, crossbow, or automatic crossbow, machine gun crossbow.
Yeah, automatic shoot.
That was cool. He's like the James Bond version of Van Helsing.
Yeah, it's amazing how this movie didn't get made before like in the 90s or 80s. Like it could have totally. That concept of a young, strapping Van Helsing is awesome because before that it was just the old man and Dracula and stuff. Mm-hmm. Like that's just a genius way of doing Van Helsing. And the only crime is I wish there was at least a trilogy of it.
I wouldn't be opposed to a sequel, but it was a very good standalone movie. Mm-hmm. And even though they left it open to a sequel, they didn't. I feel like they didn't make it with a sequel in mind.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's an interesting point because like nowadays a lot of these type of movies, they make it and it's not just one movie. It's trying to branch off into others. And so this was back before that franchising thing was too big, and it was awesome that it was its own movie. And I think that's how franchises should be. Its own movie and then build off of that. Not, oh, this is a piece of a whole one big thing. It's just sometimes we had that problem with the Tom Cruise Mummy. It was just kind of like it was like a breadcrumb to the whole pie that is coming in 10 years. Rather than Van Helsing was the whole pie.
I would have preferred the whole pie. I like having the whole pie.
Whole pie right there. And then make us another pie for a sequel.
And I'd love to see Hugh Jackman reprise the role.
Yeah.
That would be sick.
He still could, too.
There's so many monsters that he could hunt.
He's actually, like, in better shape now than he was when he did Van Helsing in 2004.
Yeah. The whole cast was really good. I can't remember the name of the guy who played Dracula, but he also does Dracula a little differently than we've seen before. And one of the cool things, I think, the relationship between Dracula and Van Helsing is there's a backstory there, but they don't really quite tell you what the backstory is right up front. And so there's stories beneath stories beneath stories beneath stories beneath stories. And what you need to know as a viewer is told in the main story. But what you don't need to know, you get hints that there's other things there. So it's very layered.
Which is weird because it's like, it's not really critically acclaimed. Got like 17% on Rotten Tomatoes or something ridiculous like that. And it's one of those like, why? Like, this was awesome. Like, I think a lot of people, they really listened to the critics and didn't really show up because if I remember correctly, it didn't do very well.
It didn't get that good of a box office, if you will.
Yeah, it's one of those hidden gems for Halloween. I call it the outside the box Halloween movie.
It's another outside the box Halloween movie
that I'll watch every October.
Well, we definitely like this movie, and we want to know, do you guys think if it deserved more praise than it got? We definitely do. Let us know in the comments below. If you like this video, please subscribe and check out some more of our videos, and don't forget to please be safe out there for Halloween. Don't take candy from strangers. Just kidding, that's the whole point of Halloween. But, be safe about it. Take it from safe strangers.
Don't take any unwrapped candy or apples. Hi everyone, thanks for watching that video. Be sure to check out Van Helsing 1939. And I think it's on my face right now.
And don't forget to check out the promo video where we interview Chance Daly, the star of Van Helsing 1939. And that video will be on my face. Thanks, guys. You're awesome.